Thank you, Glenn. Again, my name is Doug Bates, and I'm president of CMIT Solutions. And CMIT Solutions is a full-service IT provider. So what I'm going to try to do today is not talk about how we fix stuff, because if I didn't fix stuff, I wouldn't be here. We've been open 5 years now. What I want to do is talk to you more about how we interact with our clients and what we try to provide as a service to our clients since we opened our doors in April 2009. And I've got a couple of handouts that I'll talk about a little bit. So I'll send one around this way and one around this way. And
Arrow down.
arrow down.
Nope.
Wrong arrow down?
I guess. There you go.
So one of the things that I say every time I do my elevator speech is that we manufacture time and print money for our clients by worrying about their IT so they don't have to. And I am not, I think I should, in the spirit of full disclosure, I'm not an IT guy. I don't fix anything. It's not my job. I was a corporate VP, sales and marketing guy for 22 years with companies like Lego Toys, GE, Tyco, after Kozlowski. So I didn't get to do the toga parties and that kind of stuff. But I've always run the commercial side of a business. And so I've been a power user, and when technology didn't work, myself personally or my team suffered. So I understand IT from the pain standpoint, which is what I try to resolve for our clients. So when we go into a client or a prospect, I want to talk about how they're using their technology, what are their frustrations, what are they trying to accomplish, and then I work with my team and my staff to then come up with whatever the current technology solution is for them. We don't have a preconceived notion. I just want your stuff to work, because when it works, you're happy. When you're happy, I'm happy. So as I explained it to a prospect the other day, a lot of IT companies work on what's called break fix, which means I'm chugging along fine, my stuff doesn't work, I call the IT guy comes out and fixes it. So I'm experiencing pain, and then I pay the IT guy to come fix it. So he's sitting there eating bonbons, watching TV, I call him, he comes, he makes money while I'm hurt. The other option is to do what's called managed services. And managed services is a proactive plan that helps prevent as many problems in the network as possible. So how many of you have insurance? For your car, for your house, for yourself, right? How many of you want to have a personal weekly relationship with your insurance agent? You don't want to ever call him, do you? You just want to send the renewal in and hope you never need it, right? That's the way managed services work. What we want you to do is hire us. We then ensure that your network's going to stay up and running as most efficiently as possible, and then, unfortunately, you usually don't hear from us again if we're doing our job right. But what that means is that your network is up and running, and you're making money, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, whatever that is, whether it be selling air purifiers or selling insurance or whatever, and I'm making money because I'm running as efficiently as possible on keeping you up and running. So that situation, that relationship is a win-win relationship. So I win either way. I just prefer that our clients win by having their network up and running. And we provide testimonials to our clients, or references I should say, where clients will say, and I'll tell them, I say, hey, for the first 3 or 4 months, we're going to be out here making sure everything, if you hire us, is going to be going smooth, and we understand, we make adjustments. Then pretty much after that, you'll hear from me once a year when we do our annual review. And that's what happens. And I just ran into a client in Sam's last week. He said, man, I haven't seen you in forever. I'm like, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I guess it is. Because the stuff just works. And I worked in the lighting business for GE for 10 years. And one of the great things about lighting is you don't notice lighting when it's done right. You walk in and either the building looks good, or everybody looks tan, or the meats you're buying look great, and everything looks wonderful. But if you turn the switch and it doesn't come on, you know. Or if it's glaring, or if the ballast is flickering, or if it's too bright or too dim, you notice it. So it's the same thing in IT. So what I learned is when we did our job right in lighting, everybody thought about everything but lighting. So I try to apply the same mindset to technology in that we don't want you to think about your technology. We want you to just think about how efficiently your business is running, and nobody ever mentions IT. That means we're doing our job, and that's when I sleep good at night. So what I passed around was a couple of documents. One talks about small business entree and involuntary IT managers are a VAR's best friend, and a VAR is a value-added reseller, which is what CMIT Solutions is. And what that talks about is the $24 billion that small businesses lost last year by trying to be their own IT manager. So a lot of you have heard the old adage that a fool who has himself for a client, or a person who has himself for a client is a fool. When it comes to law, it's the same thing. There's a lot of people that because they've clicked on a link on Google or they've done something, they're now an IT person, or somebody told them, hey, use Dropbox or do this or do that. And for some small businesses, that's great, and things are very simple. Where things tend to get a little complicated is when you add a server into the environment. Do they sell servers at Best Buy? Can anybody tell me why? They're too complicated. There's so much, the server is designed to run a network and to manage a network efficiently. And there are a lot of things that a server is designed to do that most people don't know how to do. And the reason is I don't know how to do it. I'm not supposed to know how to do it. Jan knows how to sell insurance. She doesn't know how to run a server. It's not her job. So you want to hire somebody that can do that. There are administrative privileges, there are security features, there are simplicity features that you can do on a server that most people don't do. And most people say, oh, I got a server, and it's a little NAS, network attached storage device box, that has a drive that they save files on. Well, that's not a server, that's a storage device. So there's differences. How many of you think you're supposed to be in the cloud? Anybody in the cloud? How are you in the cloud?
I just use it to back everything up other than that.
So like Carbonite or Dropbox or something like that? Or what do you?
I don't know. Well, wait, are you talking about cloud, like phone cloud?
Any cloud services?
Yeah, just for my iPhone.
That's a perfect non-answer
Okay.
for me. And the reason is because what is the cloud? Everybody thinks, oh, I got to be in the cloud. The cloud's a new thing. The cloud's less expensive. The cloud's this. The cloud's that. Not necessarily. If you're a one-person business, having hosted Exchange in the cloud is a cloud. Having Carbonite as your backup is a cloud service. There are things that you can put in the cloud. What happens if your internet goes down if you're in the cloud?
You got nothing.
You got nothing. Okay? So, hey, I'm sexy, I'm neat, I'm trendy, I'm in the cloud, but I've got DSL, or I've got, let's say, Charter, or let's say one of Charter's competitors, and their service goes down. Before you call her to say, I want to switch to Charter, how are you going to get your stuff? How are you going to respond to your customers? Let's say there was floods a couple years ago in Atlanta, all the rains, and you had Superstorm Sandy. How many businesses, what percentage of businesses went out of business because of Superstorm Sandy, because of data loss? Because they couldn't get access to their stuff. Over 50% of small businesses did not recover from Superstorm Sandy. 30% of businesses in North Atlanta went out of business because of floods, because they didn't have everything taken care of, because they were managing their own IT based on what their neighbor, their brothers, sisters, nephews, pastor's son said, hey, this is a good idea. So, in summary, I'm not saying that we are all things to all people, because we're not. We are not the cheapest guy in town, I promise you. We carry $2 million of errors and omission insurance. We carry $2 million of general liability insurance. We do workers' comp and carry workers' comp insurance. All my guys are Microsoft certified. I do complete background and criminal checks. We have Department of Defense level security clearance because we have government clients. We are HIPAA certified or HIPAA compliant, so we can work with medical practices. So I have invested money to make sure that our clients are taken care of. So in 4.5 years, knock on wood, we have not lost one managed service client in 4.5 years. I have grown over 150% on average for 4 years. I've won 6 franchise awards. I was the 2012 Fayette County Small Business of the Year and the 2013 Small Business of the Year for the Cleveland County Chamber in the growth category. And we don't market. You will never see an ad on TV. You won't see an ad in the newspaper. We don't do anything. We do chambers, and that's it, and word of mouth. Because that's how I want my business to grow. Because you have to trust me with your technology. It's like your doctor. You have to trust me because I get to see everything. We open the kimonos and I get to see everything. Okay? So if you're insecure, I'm not the guy. But if you trust us, you will see me in the grocery store, you will see me at volunteering, to your point. I'm on boards. I was Mr. Clean at the American Cancer Society. I am going to be out there, and I will never put myself in a situation where I have to avert my eyes from a client because we didn't do our job. Now, we make mistakes, but I'm going to call you and say, this is what we did, this is how I'm fixing it, what do you want to do? Because that's how you weave yourself into the community of business. And in a trust-based business like we have, that's what's important. So if it beeps or blinks, we take care of it. I'm not going to get into details, but if it has anything to do with IT, we do it. Hardware, software, all of it.
Can I ask a question?
Can you ask a question?
Sure.
Yes, sure.
All right, you say you don't want your customers, you don't want them to have to see it. But once you sign somebody up, are you in their network checking it to make sure there's nothing getting ready to go
Yes.
wrong? Is that how you do your business?
If they,
From your office,
yes, if somebody has hired us with a managed service contract, then we have a 24/7 operations center that monitors the networks 24/7 for predictive failures. We provide antivirus, anti-spam, malware, spyware, predictive hardware failures. We whitelist Microsoft security patches. We do server administration. We do all that behind the scenes for our clients on an ongoing basis. And if they need us, we can remote in and fix it. Probably 85 to 90% of the support we provide, we remote in, which makes it quicker and less expensive depending on the plan they're on. And at the end of the day, if we have to dispatch somebody on site, we dispatch somebody. I have 4 full-time technicians, and 3 of them are level 2 or above, which means they can do server work. So I never have to say, oh, gee, sorry, my one guy that does servers isn't here today, so you're gonna have to wait until he's done. So that I can, and it costs me more money to do that, but if we've got a client that has a server that goes down and your business is down, you need to know that somebody's gonna be out there. And so one of the things, last thing, Glenn, is I passed out. So the one talks about you're a fool if you try to do your own IT in a complex network. Now, if it's a simple network, not saying that. The other one is a checklist that if you've got an IT provider that you should go down and find out and answer these questions honestly, is this the kind of support I get from the guy that I use? And again, if you're one-person shop and you just have a desktop, it may not apply to you, but the perfect referral for us is if somebody that has a server that wants to spend more money running their business than doing their IT. And that's the people we got.
Thank you, Doug.